Hi guys, and welcome to the video that's going to show you how to obtain the ultimate special vehicle in GTA series. So this video will be divided into three parts: the introduction, the preparations, and the conversions. This visual guide is for PS2 and PSP versions of the game. So what is a special vehicle? A special vehicle is a vehicle that has special properties. As a rule of thumb, these vehicles only exist during missions. There are two types of special properties, cosmetic and physical. This guide will focus on physical properties. The main cosmetic properties are an exclusive color. This is where a vehicle has a unique color or a special paint job. For example, there is a thunder rod in one of the racing missions where it has a special paint job. Another one is a permanent color. This means that you cannot respray the vehicle and change its color by going to paint spray. As an example, there is a permanent color black stretch in GTA 3. Vehicles can also have unique variations. One of the great examples of this is the legendary lightless taxi. And finally, we have rare vehicles. These are vehicles that appear only during certain missions and you cannot find them anywhere else. For example, Belt Van in GTA LCS appears only during one mission and you cannot find it anywhere else. Now let's talk about physical properties. Vehicles can be bulletproof, fireproof, explosion-proof, and damage-proof. These are the four main physical properties. But there's more. Vehicles can also be pro-proof. This means that tires will never flatten. Vehicles can also be heavy. This means they have greater mass than usual and they will knock everything out of the way with ease. Now, if a bike is heavy, it gives it an additional waterproof property, which means it will basically ignore water physics in the game. Cars can also be tip-proof. This means when a vehicle is upside down, it will not catch fire as long as you're not in the vehicle. Lastly, bikes can have unique handling. This can be superior or inferior compared to the standard handling. So these are the 9 main special properties in GTA games. Modern GTA games such as 4 and 5 don't really have the robust special properties that older games have, so we will not be looking at those games. So we will look at GTA 3, GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas, GTA Liberty City Stories, and GTA Vice City Stories. However, prop-proofing, tip-proofing, unique handling, and heavy properties can only be saved in LCS and VCS garages. And between these two games, LCS reigns supreme. Let me explain why. LCS has a lot of special property conversion methods, such as pop-proof, bulletproof, heavy and waterproof, unique handling, and damage-proof conversions. LCS also has car and bike salesman missions where you can get vehicles with bulletproof, fireproof, and explosion-proof properties essentially for free. This means out of 9 special properties, we can have a vehicle that has 8 of them, which means we're going for a bike that will have every single special property. Most of the conversions will be accessible in free roam, such as Avenging Angels, bike races, and car salesman missions. But for heavy conversion, you'll need to be on JD's Volatile Situation mission. All these methods are repeatable and you can convert as many vehicles as you want. Now, before we start our quest, we're gonna need a few weapons to test the special properties, so grab yourself a sniper rifle, which is right over here in the construction area. You can find a flamethrower in the Trenton area, right over here. And we will also need a special heavy waterproof bike for our first mission. To get that bike, you'll need to access 9mm Mayhem mission, which is right here in the red light district. Once you get to the location, get on the bike and the mission will start. So this mission actually has a lot of special vehicles. Every vehicle in this mission is heavy, But when the mission ends, these vehicles generally despawn unless the vehicle is very close to your spawning location. So if you kill the enemy and then kill your driver next to your spawn location, that vehicle will not vanish and you can take it. If you want more detailed information on how this mission works, check the video's description. Anyway, once you get close to your spawn location, kill the enemy and then shoot your driver, and the bike should stay there. You will get the mission failed message, and there's the bike. Take it and save the game. Heavy bikes are waterproof, which means they will fall through the water into the gray hell and allow you to access the other two islands early in the game. If you perform this jump right here, you'll be able to access Staunton Island. As you can see, straight through the water and into the gray hell. In a couple of seconds you get the Staunton Island, loading screen, and spawn right here. Congratulations, you are now prepared to take on this quest. So in order to obtain the ultimate special vehicle, we'll need to do a few conversions, but first we'll need to get the bike, the bulletproof, fireproof, explosion-proof bike. Then we'll do the pop-proof conversion, then damage-proof conversion, then heavy conversion, and then the unique handling conversion. So now that you have access to Staunton Island, go to the Belleville Park area and activate Bike Salesman. You will have 4 bikes to choose from. Pick any one you want. I'm going to pick the PCJ because why not? And we're going to ditch this bike in a ditching location not too far from here. By the way, since the conversions can get a bit confusing, at the top of the video you can see from left to right the current mission we're on, the current objective that we need to do, and then the next objective. So right now we need to destroy the bike, as you can see. Just a bit of a visual aid to help you follow along. So the bike right now is actually in bulletproof, fireproof, explosion-proof form, but in order to save those properties we'll need to destroy the bike and fail the mission at the same time. So if you follow along, you'll have no problem obtaining this bike. Just slowly ditch it into the water and you should get the mission failed message. There it is. Drive off, and just to make sure you want to test if it's at least fireproof. If it's fireproof, it means it has all the 3 special properties, and there it is, fireproof. Now here comes the interesting part. How do we get this bike to Portland? Well, by using boats, of course. Go to the Newport Pier in this location here, and you should find a few boats here. We're going to drive the bike onto the boat and drive the boat like that. First of all, you want to drive the boat for a split second because otherwise it's just stuck in a place. Reverse it a little bit if you have to, so that you have an easy way to access the boat. Now, carefully drive onto the boat. The reason we have to do it like this is because if you just leave the bike on the boat and drive the boat itself, the physics of the game get a bit glitchy, and basically either the bike will fall off, and not just fall off, will fly off most of the time, or the boat will just get stuck. So this is the only real way to get to Portland with your bike. You want to be very careful here because if you fall off the bike, you won't be able to get back on it. We're going to drive the boat like this all the way to Harwood Pier, which is the ditching location in Harwood. It's not too far, but depending on the weather and depending on the waves, it might be a bit harder or a bit easier. Generally, I find that it's very important to continuously steer to the right because the waves naturally take you to the left. Alright guys, we're halfway there. Once you reach Harwood, you'll need to take a right turn in order to beach the boat at Harwood Pier. We're almost at the location here, and even though the weather is not too bad, steering the boat can be quite challenging and a bit even unpredictable at times. So you definitely don't want to rush things at this stage. So you want to hug the wall like this and steer the boat to the right so you're able to beach it at the pier. You want to beach the boat onto the pier in such a way that you can drive off with your bike off the boat and onto the pier. Now very carefully you want to drive off the boat. You want to time the waves as well so that the boat is over the pier, and drive off sort of like this. Now you don't want to fall into the water after doing all that, so carefully drive around the boat, and there's a ramp at the end of this platform, up the ramp, and there it is. You have officially obtained your bulletproof, fireproof, explosion-proof bike. Congrats, and go save the game. Now that you have your bike, it's time to make it pop-proof. This is the easiest and fastest conversion in the game. All you really need is a fire truck. Get into the fire truck and hold the R3 button. R3 for PS2 and up for PSP. Since I'm on PS2, I'm going to hold R3. I also have the input display on at the bottom of the screen, so it's easier to follow. The game will not activate the fire truck submission until we release the button, and that's the whole idea. While holding the button, we want to ditch the bike into the water, deep enough so it's considered destroyed, but not too deep where it's irretrievable. You can take both the fire truck and your vehicle to the ditching location if you don't want to hold the button all the way, but for this example I'm just going to be holding the button. So when you're ready, slowly drive the bike into the water. You'll have to eyeball it because you can't know for sure if the game considers the bike destroyed or not. So when you feel like it's deep enough, release the button and you should get the mission over screen. Now take out your sniper rifle and see if it worked. As you can see, it didn't work for me, so I'm gonna try again. I'm back with another attempt. Let's see if it works now. There it is, pop-proof conversion successful. Don't forget to save the game. Alright, it's time for damage-proof conversion. DP conversion is very easy and straightforward when it comes to cars, but when it comes to bike, it's quite a headache. There are a few methods in this game for converting the bike, but I'm going to show you the free roam method that does not require any specific missions. For this, you'll need Diablos. Generally, they're hanging around in the construction site area. It might take some time to find them, but eventually you'll find them. You'll need only 2. So once you find them, you'll have to aggro them and lure them to the crusher. Okay, so while we're getting there, I'll try to explain what you want to do. You want to activate the crusher glitch, of course. That's what gives the bike damage-proof properties. In order to do that, you'll need one of those guys to steal the bike away from you. Right now, they're chasing after Tony, not the bike. In order for them to be interested in the bike, they have to first be on the bike, and then they have to be knocked off the bike by another guy. So essentially, you want the first guy to be on the bike while the second guy knocks the first guy off the bike while you're also on the bike. I know it sounds a bit complicated, but trust me, that's not even the most complicated part of this conversion. That part comes later. Once you arrive to the location, this is what you want to do. When they are close, you want to get off the bike and then get back on the bike. The first guy will knock you off the bike and the second guy will get on the rear seat of the bike. This might take a few tries, so patience is key here. Once you have the second guy on the rear seat of the bike, you want to knock him off the bike and also knock the first guy down. But don't kill him yet. Get on the bike and the second guy will get on the rear seat with you. At this point, the first guy will knock both you off the bike. That's it. Kill the first guy and now the second guy is interested in your bike. As you can see, slowly walking to it. Now, this is the trickiest part of the conversion. You'll have to time the magnet grabbing the bike and the guy getting on the bike at the same time. And while that's happening, you want to steal the bike away from him. So the trickiest part here is the timing. It's generally better to be a bit early rather than late, because if you're early you can keep retrying. If you're late, he will just drive off with your bike and you'll have to start all over again. It's gonna take you quite a few tries. This one is a very tricky conversion, but hopefully the video will help you to get the sense of the timing. Here's an example of how to do it. Once he's around there, get off the bike, and as he's getting on the bike, press triangle only once. Tap triangle once, that's it. Now your bike is in ghost form. I'm gonna turn on the input display so you can get a better idea. As he's getting on, I'm pressing triangle once. That's it. I'm even gonna show you a slow motion, just in case you really need that timing. He's getting on, I'm pressing triangle, that's it, only once. The bike is in ghost form. Now the ghost form means it's not solid and it will go through objects. It will go through walls, through cars, through people, through everything. It can also fall through the ground into the gray hell. If that happens, there's a chance that your game might freeze. So you want to take your bike to the garage, but you want to do it carefully. Also, I forgot to mention, do not get off the bike while it's in ghost form. You will not be able to get back on it. You'll have to start all over again. Now all you need to do is restore the bike. To do that, drive into the garage, get off the bike, and let the door close. That's it. You have converted your bike into damage-proof form now. Whew, if you did all that, congrats. This one is one of the trickiest and hardest conversions in the game, I'm not gonna lie. But we have still 2 more conversions to go. So save your game and let's proceed. Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of this video. Heavy conversion requires on mission 0 glitch. On mission 0 basically means that the game runs 2 missions at the same time. This allows us to merge 2 missions at the same time and control the game script to some extent. Stage 1 of On Mission 0 is merging Rampage and any R3 missions together. So grab yourself a police car, get to this location and activate Rampage as it is shown here. When you have about 1 second left, get in the car and activate the submission. Press R3 on PS2 and up on PSP. If you're successful, you'll see the glitch display, which means now you're running both the Vigilante and the Rampage submissions at the same time. The next step is to get the Bumps and Grinds menu. For that, we'll have to go to the dirt track. Okay, here's the bike. You don't want to get out of the car just yet. You want to wait till the timer hits 55 seconds. And then you want to get out of the car. Okay, 55 seconds left. I'm getting out of the car and you will notice that we have 2 timers now. What we want to do is wait till the first timer reaches 0, get onto the bike. That's going to activate the Bumps and Grinds mission. While that's happening, the second timer will reach 0, which will cancel the mission and give you the Bumps and Grinds menu. As you can see, Rampage failed, I'm getting onto the bike and I'm just waiting. I'm not pressing anything. And now I'm getting another mission failed. Now we have the Bumps and Grinds menu, but we also can drive the bike. This is where things get a bit awkward. We want to keep this Bumps and Grinds menu because it's essential for our conversion. Some of the ways we can cancel the menu is, for example, pressing X on course 1. If we press X on course 1, we will be transported to the dirt track and we don't want that. Another way to cancel the menu is pressing triangle. On the PSP version, circle also cancels the menu. There is, however, a safe method where you can press any of those buttons and still keep the menu. For that, you want to hold the analog stick to the left or to the right and then press your button. So essentially, we want to drive on locked tracks, and when we want to press triangle or circle, we want to hold the analog stick to the left or to the right. This will ensure that we will keep the menu. Now, with your Bumps and Grinds menu, go to the construction site and we want to activate the RC races. This is where the menu comes in. Pay attention to the input display for extra visual aid. We want to hold the analog stick to the side, get off the bike, and then get into the van the same way. Once we're in the van, we want to hold the stick, get out of the van, and then press the triangle without holding the stick. Okay, let's look at it at half speed. Now, as you can see, I'm holding the analog to the right. The text under course 4 disappears, which means it's safe for me to press triangle. Pressing triangle, I'm off the bike. Now I'm going to the van. Holding the analog stick to the right, the text under course disappears. I'm pressing the triangle and getting into the van. Now I want to exit the van as fast as possible. I'm still holding the analog stick, I'm mashing the triangle, and as soon as I see Tony get out of the vehicle, I press triangle to cancel the menu and cancel the animation. Hopefully you've been able to get that. So what this does is this gives us an infinite timer, which is essential for this conversion. Once the race starts, Tony will be standing in the van, and just press the jump button a few times and Tony should be able to get out of the van. Now we need to go and activate another OM0 Stage 1. This time though, we will not be messing with bumps and grinds menu, so don't worry about it. It's the same procedure as before. This time I'm using a taxi instead of a police car. It really makes no difference. The reason we get an infinite timer is that it allows us to make this conversion repeatable for both PSP and PS2 versions. Otherwise, you'd only be able to convert one vehicle and pass the mission. Once you get OM0 Stage 1, cancel the taxi mission and go grab your bike. Now we go and activate the volatile situation mission. Park the bike nearby, and when you're ready, enter the circle. Skip the cutscene, take your bike, and go to the marker. So I would park the bike somewhere here and step into the yellow marker. So this mission has a couple of waves of enemies that you need to take out. The first two waves you want to do normally without anything extra. You won't have access to your weapons because you're still on a rampage timer, but as soon as the timer runs out, you will get back all your weapons. Okay, we're on a third wave, and here's the Brown Patriot. You want to kill the driver and maybe one of the passengers, but you want to keep at least one passenger alive. So I'm going to kill the driver, the passenger, and I'm going to keep that guy alive. And now I'm going back to my bike, and we're going to dupe the volatile situation mission. For this to work, you'll have to have one of the passengers alive. You can have both of them actually, it doesn't really matter, but at least one. So once you're there, enter the marker. Skip the cutscene and you'll see a text telling you that the truck bump is headed to the casino. This is where the conversion takes place. You want to stay outside of the marker and wait for the truck bump. When the truck bump stops, drive into the marker. There it is. Your bike now should be heavy. Drive it into the garage and leave it there. Okay, we're almost done. Now we need to fail the mission. This part is a bit weird because we need to wait for another car to arrive at the casino. The first car that arrives at the casino will have the red arrow on it, and it will essentially have the bomb. If you destroy that car at the casino, it will blow up the casino and you'll fail the mission. The problem is you can't really see the next wave of Sindaccos on your map, and sometimes they take 2, 3, maybe even 4 minutes to get to the casino. So at this point, I'll just recommend driving around the neighborhood and waiting for that. As soon as they arrive at the casino though, you will see the new markers on the map. That's when you know that they're there. Okay, as you can see, it took me about 3 minutes, but now I see them on the map. There they are, new red triangles on the map. Go there and destroy the car that has a red triangle on it next to the casino. There it is, mission failed. Go check the bike in your garage and save the game. Once you save and load the game, the infinite timer as well as the grayed out markers on the map will disappear. Alright, this is it folks, the final stretch. Unique handling conversion. This conversion gives us a superior 2.0 handling, which is the best handling in the game. So for this one, we're going to need OM0 Stage 1, then we're going to need Bumps and Grinds menu, and then we're going to need another OM0 Stage 1. Okay, we got the OM0 Stage 1. Now we need to go to the dirt track and get Bumps and Grinds menu. The timer is almost 0. I'm going to hop on the bike just like the last time and wait. There we go, another mission failed. And now with the menu we need to drive back and get another OM0 Stage 1. Okay, I'm back at the Rampage location. Of course, be careful getting out of the vehicle. Hold the analog stick to the left or to the right and then get out. I'm gonna get in and get out again so I have the door fully open like this. This will allow me to get in the car really quickly when the timer hits 0. So the timer is about to be 0. I'm getting in and pressing R3. That's it. Now we're gonna have OM0 Stage 1 and the Bumps and Grinds menu. Now we need to go and get the Avenging Angels submission. Now I'm going to disable the Vigilante mission and go and try to find Avenging Angels. I also have to do that before the timer runs out, so I have about 90 seconds to find them. This location here is generally a good place to find them. Just drive back and forth a little bit and they should spawn hopefully. And there's my guy. So I'm gonna get out of the car, I'm still keeping the menu, and I'm gonna press R3, or up for the PSP. Okay, get into the car, keep the menu, and now we're driving to the bike races. Here we are, and the timer is about to run out. Once that happens, you'll see the yellow circle. Walk into the circle, and while the cutscene plays, press R3 or up for PSP twice to cancel the Avenging Angels mission. If you did all that successfully, you'll see the mission over message, and Tony will be holding his phone to his ear. So at this point, most of your buttons don't work, and you absolutely cannot press X, regardless if you're holding the analog stick or not. You cannot sprint, you cannot get into a car, you cannot even jump. So we need to get back the controls, and the way we do it is we need to go to the ammunition and enter it. Okay, enter the ammunition and you should be able to now use your controls, but still do not press X whatever you do. Now we need to find a car. Stallion will do just fine. Now since we can't press X, we have to reverse. Now we need to go to the junkyard and activate Trash Dash mission. We still need our menu, so keep holding the analog stick and enter the Trash Master. Activate the mission by pressing R3 or up. Watch this cutscene, do not press anything. Once it's over, get out of the car while holding the analog stick, still keeping the menu. Now we just walk back to our garage, where our bike is. This is the only conversion where PSP and PS2 methods differ. For PS2 you'll have to do a few extra steps, otherwise your game will crash. For PSP it's much more straightforward. First I'll show you the PSP method. Reverse the bike out of the garage and also watch the input display so you have an easier time following the instructions. Hold the analog stick to the side and then press triangle and X in a quick succession. You should get this cutscene, wait for about 4 seconds and press X on course 1. You will see the countdown and that's it. For PSP that's all you need to do. You're free to save your bike. Generally, for the most part, the game doesn't crash, but sometimes it might happen, so just keep that in mind. Now the PS2 method has few extra steps. First you want to park your bike somewhere like that up against that wall and then do the PSP method. When you activate course 1, you want to go and enter your safe house before the next cutscene starts, like that. From here you'll get 3 different outcomes. Either your game crashes, you get an infinite loading screen, or you get a save prompt. If you get a save prompt, consider yourself lucky. There it is, cancel the save prompt, and now you'll see you have 2 Tonys. Yeah, we have unintentionally duped Tony. Now go outside and check if your bike is still there. If it is, congratulations, you finally did the last conversion. Put the bike in the garage and save the game. So the weird thing about 2 Tonys is that some of your controls are disabled, but thankfully when you save the game and load it back, you'll get everything back. You'll also lose all your weapons and your armor, but I feel like that's a small price to pay. Now as you can see, I cannot even pause the game. I can't press select button. I have to actually restart the system. So once you restart the game and load into your last save, check your garage and your bike should be there. There it is, the ultimate special vehicle in GTA series ever. Alright, let's test the properties, shall we? So, while we're testing the properties, I want to share some of my thoughts. First off, if you made it this far, thank you. This was a pretty long video, it took me a while to put it all together, so thanks for watching till the end. I also want to mention that no cheats have been used for the conversions, so you can use the same methods to make your own ultimate bike. As for versions, I'm playing the PS2 version here on PC with an emulator simply because it's the easiest way for me to record gameplay. The original PS2 version should behave the same way 99% of the time. I've also done all these conversions many times on PSP, so they all should work without a hitch. If anything, PSP seems to be more stable, especially for that unique handling conversion. As far as mobile versions go, I can't really test them at the moment, so if you can confirm it, that would be great. LCS is turning 20 years old next year. Absolutely unbelievable. If only there was an explosion-proof or tip-proof conversion in LCS, we would have had so many more ultimate special vehicles. One can always dream, I guess. I want to give a big shout out to people who've dedicated many years to the special vehicles hunt in GTA series. Without them, this video wouldn't be possible. I will credit some of them in the video and in the description. If I miss your name, let me just umbrella thank everyone who has put hours upon hours into finding special vehicles. I'll also have other useful links and videos for other conversions there if you want to watch more content like this. Speaking of which, most of these methods shown here are not my discoveries, just want to make that clear. The only thing I've discovered is the PS2 extra steps for the unique handling conversion method, and I'm not even sure if I'm the first one who did that. Everything else is someone else's discovery, slightly altered at best. That's it. Thanks for watching, thanks for everyone who contributed to the Special Vehicles Guide, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Cheers.